Welcome back to Cypress Brewing. Today we're going to bring you episode 2 of Building a Brewery. Just kind of keep you guys in the scoop. I'm Justin, I'm Warren. If you guys haven't already seen the first episode, and if you have not, we'll leave a link down below or give a link up top on the video. And today, go ahead and tell them what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the state of our business, just where we're at with the brewery, some things that have been going on with us on the business side of things, as well as the physical location. We'll talk about some beers we've been working on and also some back-end boring business details. So first and foremost, we're still working on our building. We're still completely in demolition mode at this time. Almost done with pulling up our floor to get ready for new plumbing, sewage, and water lines. So that's going to be exciting when we finally get that done. Also been working on some legal things such as hearings with the city of Pocomoke. We actually had a hearing last week that went fairly well, so we are, as a brewery, legally allowed to operate in this district that we're in, so that's a huge win for us.
Yeah, before we go any further on that, I just want to give a huge shout out to all the supporters we had, especially Josh Nordstrom. I want to thank them, our neighbors from the Vault, which is
Jackie and Roy Cipriano.
Yeah, they were really cool. We really appreciate their support, and everybody else that showed up to the hearing to support us. So a big, huge shout out to all you guys, and I know that Josh is running for district again, so this is one of those positive things that he does for the community. He was there for us to help us grow downtown Pocomoke, and
we want to be there for him as well.
Yeah, so a huge shout out to him. So
yeah, I mean, the long and short of it is, we're here to build the community back up. We want to contribute back to this community. Pocomoke is such a wonderful city with so much potential and so many vacant buildings. There's so much room for improvement around here, and we want to be part of that to bring Pocomoke back up and bring it to some greatness, because it deserves it, and we know that it has so much more potential than what it has now.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. I mean, it's my town, I love it too. So before we get to the boring stuff, we actually have one of our brews that we have on tap. It is the Cherry Wood Smoked Porter, correct?
Mm-hmm. Second revision.
Yes, the second revision. This time we put a little more chocolate in it to give it a little more body on it. The first time we had, I think, too much cherry wood smoked blend in it. It was very overwhelming. It was a good beer, but I think this actually has a lot more body, and it's going to be a lot more presentable as a proper porter. So
so we are actually currently in the process of developing and troubleshooting through our own recipes, just trying to nail down the right malt, grain bill, the hop additions, and make sure that everything is kind of dialed in. So once we have our beers on tap and we're ready to actually open up to the public, we have 2 or 3 solid offerings that we can bring and push those through a rotation. We'll be doing everything from stouts and porters to occasional sour. We're going to try our hand at a Kolsch. We've got our second revision of a nut brown ale coming up, which I'm really excited about. So that's my baby. And we're also going to be working on a black IPA. So we're going to be partnering up with local band Brackish Tide for a Carpe Noctem black IPA, dark as night and bitter as hell. So keep an eye out for that one as well.
We also had some lighter beers, like you said, the Kolsch, and we actually had an American Wheat that was on tap about 2 weeks ago. That was, I gotta say, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Because traditionally I like darker beers, but every time I would go overseas, the American Wheat would be on tap in Europe, and every time I would go to a brewery here in the States, they would never have American Wheat. So I was really excited about making an American Wheat again, and bringing that to my palate, and maybe we can bring that to you guys as well, which I probably will. So.
Yep, and our first revision of that turned out really good.
Yeah, so we're probably going to stick with that. We also, some of the other, I guess, business stuff, topics, we are actually working with Proximity Malts. You want to go into details about that?
Yeah, so we're going to start buying our malts from a local grain farm called Proximity Malts. They're based out of Delmar, Delaware, and all of their grains are locally sourced up and down the eastern seaboard. So we're really excited to work with them to locally source our grains. We're also going to be trying to work with Seaside Hops based out of Machipongo, Virginia. So they actually have a hop farm that's I think a 3 or 4 generation family-owned farm. And they specialize in about 3 or 4 different varieties of hops and looking to add more at any given time. So we're looking forward to working with them as well. So that should be a really interesting development, especially since the majority of our beer will be locally sourced. So this is our cherry wood smoked porter.
I'm really enjoying this one. Like I said earlier in the video, the cherry wood was so overpowering in that other one that the revision in this with that little bit of chocolate hint and it really makes it almost like a s'more. I really love it. It got so much body. It's got great flavor in it, man. I really enjoy it.
Yep. Our first revision of this beer was mostly cherry wood porter, and it was extremely intense, almost like biting into a juicy burger off a charcoal grill. It's kind of how I described it. Like it just smacked you in the face with that smokiness.
It was brutal.
And it was really good, but it was so much that you actually got kind of desensitized to the taste of it after drinking it for a while.
Yeah.
We dialed it back to about 20% in this batch, and it seems to be a really happy medium in terms of the flavor that it provides. But also with the chocolate malt added into it, it gives it a lot more body and a really complex flavor.
I could probably use just a little bit more carbonation, but it's just about there. I think I'm pretty satisfied with this.
Yep. Yeah, we're about 3 days in with the factory cold crashing into our conditioning, and we're almost there with carbonation. Not quite there yet, but we're getting really close to where a porter should be.
Right.
And overall, really happy with the taste and the complexion of this beer. It's turning out to be really good. We'll probably end up modifying it a slight bit for the third revision.
Yeah, the only thing I probably would say is a little more head retention, but that might just be because it was out of the growler. Sometimes you lose some of that head retention pouring out of the growler, but yeah. But on the other side of things, beyond the beer, the business portion of things, we do have blueprints done. Thanks to Frank Hawk, that's been a huge help being not really our architect. What do you call himself that day?
Project designer.
Project designer, yes. We're working through the Hausman Group. They've been super awesome with us. And we'll definitely share the business plans with you guys at the end of this movie, this video, showing a little bit about what we're going to be working with. And that's about it on the blueprints. We do have a zoning meeting coming up, right?
Yep, we have a city council meeting scheduled for sometime next month. We're looking at getting all of our permitting and licenses so we can actually break new ground and do new construction in the building. So as of the last Wednesday, we are cleared to legally operate in the area as the business we intended. Yes, huge win.
Cheers to that, man.
Yes, cheers to that. And then after our city council meeting, hopefully we'll be able to get our permitting and licensing so we can continue forward with our renovations and our new construction. So as it stands right now with our business plans, we did delete the beer garden in the near term. That is shelved for a future project, but at a minimum that's going to be a spring 2023 project just due to the time that we're planning on opening, and with licensing and everything else, it's going to push us back further. So at a minimum for right now, we're looking at around 50 to 60 capacity inside of our tap room. And then we'll also have our brew house, which is behind Jessamine and I. And then next spring, we're looking to add on our beer garden, which should roughly double our seating capacity in the building.
Right.
So we're really excited about that.
So our hearing will be next month, beginning of next month, I hope. Nothing's been posted yet, but...
Yeah, it's usually like the second Wednesday of the month.
Stay tuned on that. Maybe we'll post something on Instagram or Facebook about the hearing coming up. So if you can attend that, I don't know if is it public?
Yes.
Okay, so it's public, so that'd be awesome for the support. If not, just watch it online, show your support there. That's fine too. But for the building's coming along nicely. I'm really happy with it. Like, there's some things that we still need to do. Like, there's still some wood on the beams. I want to take all that wood off the beams to show off the beams. I think the beams with that brick really look really good together.
We finally have electric.
Yep.
Since the last time we talked to you guys.
That is big news too.
Yes, that's huge news. Since the last time we talked to you guys.
I totally forgot about that.
We actually have electric now, so we can work in here after dark, and we've been able to get a lot more work done with power tools, so that's been a huge plus.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we have been, so this floor originally had, when we bought the building, had tile flooring down. So that's been a really big feat for us. That's been the biggest thing that we've been tackling. We've been working on that for at least a month or more.
Yes. Our first attempt at that was a futile effort, I'd say. We broke our backs in about 3 hours just trying to get part of the floor up, and
it was a good 4 hours, and
yes.
yeah, we had blisters, and it was just not right. So the next week, was it maybe the next week or the week after, we actually rented a tile remover or scraper, a little vibrator with plates on it. It did fairly well for most of the building. We got to a section of the building that was double layered and was extremely hard to get up, and we had to give it up that day. We've been at it for
7 hours.
About 7 hours that day, and we had to return the machine by Monday. So we kind of sat on it for some time if we wanted to do the tile remover again, as we did try to use it on this portion of the floor, and it didn't work very well.
It was just stubborn as hell.
So we kept sitting on it. We tried a flamethrower on it. Didn't seem to really help too much. We still were breaking our backs, and we still have about, it's not as much as the quarter we did the first time, but we did come up with a solution. We are using an air hammer, and hopefully we're going to finish that tonight. It's a goal of ours to finish that up tonight. That way we can just clean all this up, and then our next process would be actually
diamond polishing the floor.
Yep, diamond polish the floor, kind of getting most of it up, and then we can move into actually. I think the last thing is probably exposing some brick in the front of the building, but that's it.
Yep,
really.
We're going to be going for a very raw concrete, brick, and wood look. So once the floor is done, it'll be all concrete. We'll have the brick columns down the sides of the buildings. The plaster will be cleaned up, and we're still trying to decide what we're going to do with that as far as a look. We kind of debated about shiplap and a few other things, but we're still kind of on the fence about that.
Yeah, so if you guys have any ideas, hit us up down below. Hit some comments. If you guys have any suggestions for types of beers you want, suggestions, all that good stuff.
We'd love to experiment with some new recipes and try to dial some things in.
Oh, absolutely. Do we have anything else?
We can talk about equipment.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So we have, originally we were going to start with a 1 BBL, is about 31 gallon system as our pilot system for
one
the
barrel
brewery.
system, yeah.
And, we kind of decided that just based on the price of it and kind of the availability of other equipment, it may be better for us to go to a 3.5 BBL. It's going to push, it's 3.5 times our daily capacity in terms of beer output.
You could do more than that, actually.
Yeah, we can do way more than that, but I mean, in all theoretical realness, I mean, we can do a lot more. So it kind of gives us room to grow and not immediately get up against a wall right as soon as we open. I mean, obviously, if we grow too fast, that's not a bad thing, but we also don't want to get to the point where we have to be in here brewing every day. And
just to keep up, yeah.
It's an 8-hour day just brewing, not including serving.
That's even more vessels too. You can't, even if you have smaller system, more vessels you need.
So we are looking at a Blakeman system to start that off, which is going to increase our capacity by quite a bunch.
Yep.
And we're going to be looking into 3.5 and 7 BBL bright tanks and fermenters to go along with that. So we have a little bit of flexibility when it comes to what our high movers are. How we rotate things in and out off the tap, and then also our kegging, so we have backup in case we run low or if we need to carbonate more, just to keep some flexibility in the process and make sure that we never run out of beer on tap.
Yeah.
So that's basically the gist of it right now. So we still have a lot of work ahead of us, but it's astounding to see how far we've come in 5 months.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It's a much different building than it was in November when we purchased it.
Yeah, well, it's just I'm totally looking forward to bringing the brewery here. So, but I think that's pretty much it for us. What do you think?
I think it covers
that's
most
it.
of it. Yeah.
All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. We appreciate you guys stopping in, watching the video, bearing with us, because I know we probably don't have a lot of B-roll to show while we're talking here, because there's not a lot to show off. We do have a building to show, but like I said, we don't have anything built up yet, so it's just pretty much a bare building. But really do appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys' support. You guys mean a lot to us. We're going to try to be around for 4th Fridays. That's the last thing I want to mention. I think we're going to be out here. This is April. We'll probably be setting up a table for 4th Friday this month. and we'll have our blueprints out. You guys come say hi to us. We'll show our some of our home brewing fermenters and stuff like that, some of the grains that we have, just so you guys can see the process. And I have thought about maybe even brewing on a fourth Friday, on site on fourth Friday, just so you guys can see the process and stuff like that. So it's just a little bit of thought. Let us know what you guys think about that. If you guys would like to see us brew on the fourth Friday, or even on September, the month that we are sponsoring. So stay tuned to like Pocomoke Chamber of Commerce, Pocomoke City's website, all that stuff for the events going on. There's a lot of good stuff for kids and stuff like that too. So I think we're going to have paint spinning again. With just like a little canvas, and you can spin it and you can just drop paint on it. It makes really cool paintings. We'll probably have that out here again as well. Not a lot of people knew we had it, but I didn't want people dripping over the power cord, so that's what we did. But anyways, I'm rambling on, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Appreciate you guys again. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe, actually, and then hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. And any comments that you guys have, please leave them below. We appreciate you guys, and we can't wait to bring you
this
beer. Cypress Brewing Company.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.